Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. This is John from Flippin' Ain't Easy. And just thank you for tuning in with me today. Just came back from a one of those vacations that you need a vacation from. You know, you come back and you're just dead tired because just so much was going on, and there was more stuff going on than actual just relaxation time. And this particular trip wasn't really meant for a relaxation trip, that type of thing. A lot of golf and a lot of hanging out with friends and that type of thing. So yeah, I'm still kind of recovering, but that's why I didn't come out with a video for today. Instead, I'd rather do a live stream. Thanks to my wife, Jenna, for holding down the fort while I was gone. I was gone from Tuesday afternoon until late Saturday night. And she really did a good job in taking care of the orders and the customers. And I had hardly any reception. So for some, when you're on vacation, that's kind of a good thing. But trying to keep an eye on things. I mean, I had one bar that would go in and out. That's kind of the reception that I had. So I really couldn't keep track of the outside world. But the store was intact when I got back, and she did an excellent job. I did kind of get a side eye because one of the items that sold was a pretty heavy item, and she had help getting it down and everything. So it worked out in the end. But yeah, was able to do that. And I would always recommend, this reselling business can be very tedious. It's a grind. And if you don't have little things like that to look forward to, then, it's kind of not really worth it, I guess to say. I mean, um, you really have to have that time for yourself once in a while, something to look forward to. And that's kind of what this was. So, want to start off. We have a handful of people right now in the chat. If you are here with us today, plan on doing this for about an hour, this live stream. Let me have your questions, your eBay questions. Want to answer whatever I can answer. Please put that in the chat. And of course, hit the like button. Certainly, it's all I ask you guys to do. If you're watching this after the fact, put your comments down below, questions down below. And of course, if you appreciate the content, please hit that like button. It does help the channel, and I certainly do appreciate that. I want to say hello to Gemma Louise. Hi from the UK. Keep up the good work and keep the videos coming, because flipping ain't easy. It's not easy, that's for sure. Austin, hey John, how you doing? We have Kevin Hawthorne. Good evening from Lakeland, Florida. How you doing, Kevin? Thanks for stopping by. My wife's also in the chat. How you doing, honey? We have Crystal Antiques. Hi from Minneapolis, Minnesota. How you doing? We also have Gregory Glover, Salt Lake City in the house. Awesome. And of course, can't forget Semperfi 1918. And, my wife was asking me about coming home on Saturday instead of Sunday. Sometimes I come home on Sunday from this particular trip. It's a yearly trip that we take. But there's not a whole lot going on like Saturday evening. And just wanted to get home, get in my own bed, because when you're out and about, and we had like these cottages we stayed in, and I'm telling you, it's hard to sleep when you get home. You're just looking forward to sleeping in your own bed. And so that idea, and of course Sunday rolls around, I probably could have taken the day off, but instead I get up, go right out and start going through stuff. And it kind of led me into, well, talking about the whole reorganization thing. So to give you a snapshot, I mean, I have the shelving behind me. I have the room behind me that has shelves. I have my garage that has heavy duty shelving for the larger items. Have about 5 different shelves in there. They're not all full, so I have room in there. Have 80 boxes that I just bought that you guys know about. And those have been sitting in there. And trying to transition the stuff. We also have one bedroom upstairs where, when my wife was doing her store, she had the stuff in there. And when we transitioned it over, we simply just changed the shelving numbers to be a unique number. And we just ported them over through InkFrog onto my store. The goal that we're dealing with right now is bringing them down, filling empty racks and also outside in the garage with that merchandise to free up that room. And it's going to be a little smoother operation once we get it all said and done. Now, I came out with a video, I think, months ago. I don't even know exactly when I came out with that video, but it was talking about how I had lost 72 items, so meaning that there's 72 items on my shelf that were there, but were not listed. And so that's something I'm kind of finding right now. We've gone through like 5 shelves, found that we have a handful of items that just weren't listed. And it's something I'd recommend for you guys to do every 6 months or so, is do that inventory, maybe on a weekend, maybe on a day you weren't planning on doing a whole lot. Get in there and just go through. And it's better to have a partner help you, have someone clear a particular shelf on a rack, and then just go through, have someone on the eBay side looking at your listings, sorted by, hopefully your shelf number or whatever inventory system you have, and then just verify that this item has a listing. And you'll be surprised that you're going to find a handful of items that have been sitting there, and there's no rhyme or reason. The 3 or 4 items we found in the 45 minutes that we're doing this, I couldn't find any idea, any hint, nothing in the ended, nothing in the sold and the orders, and it's just a mystery to me. And I guess I'll never know why these things happen, but they do, at least to me. And I've heard others have had this problem as well. And it's frustrating because, you're tying up shelf space. And I had 72. I had 72 last time. And while I don't expect that many this time, even if it's half, it's, 30 some odd items that, could have been up for sale that for whatever reason is not up for sale. So I figure we're going to take 2-3 days to get that done. And that will be sort of a challenge because we have limited space. So we're up over 700 items. And as you can see behind me, I have some empty spots in these shelves. We haven't messed with those yet. But I figure you could probably fit in each level, each shelf, you could probably fit about, I'd say 20 to 40 items, depending on the size. And again, our larger items are outside in the garage. The smaller items are kept in here. And, we do a simple system where we do shelf 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. I have like G1 for garage, was U1 for upstairs. So we had an idea of where things were based on that. And it works, I guess, but we're trying to free up space upstairs, just keep the operation down here if we can. And that's kind of the idea behind all this. And also I have to clear space in the garage for racks, which means I didn't want to go through the boxes that I had. I wanted to open them as I went, but I found that it's probably best, which is what I did yesterday, to go through the boxes that I had, open them up, and start sorting the stuff I'm going to liquidate from the stuff I'm going to sell, and try to liquidate those boxes. I think there's like 20 boxes out of the 80 that I plan on liquidating, and like $10 a box. We're talking $10 to $30 items. Some stuff I don't want to deal with, like a lot of clothing and stuff like that. Someone will be willing to come and buy, these for like $10 a box, and to get them off my hands and clear that space. Then I go out and set up the shelves that I'm pulling from upstairs in my garage, that type of thing. So hopefully this time next week, I'll have that all situated. Just one of the things, kind of the hassles you have to deal with, but you need to be on top of your inventory. It's very important, and you can't just assume that you've listed it, you've put it away, and everything's fine, because if you're not checking to see if you're missing items you've listed, some of them will not be listed, and you're going to be frustrated to find out much later down the road that you're just tying up space on your shelves or whatever your storage situation is. We have, so let's see, we have one busy mama to you. Hi from sunny Florida, sending you some warmth. Thank you. It's hot here. It's like 100 and something degrees. I just came from the river, the Arizona-California border, and it was getting hot there too. It was really hot. It's hot now. I have my AC running, But thank you for sending that warmth. Hopefully someone can use it. That's for sure. No Agenda 77 says, hey, John, I was watching a Whatnot stream and saw someone with the Flip It Ain't Easy handle. Was that you? Perhaps no. Sad that someone's using that, but I can't stop it. If they want to use it, they can. I know that their Whatnot is taking, you have to go in and enroll, I guess, and they're not accepting everyone. I guess if you have a following, and maybe they were able to get in saying that they were me, but I don't sell the type of items for the most part that would really be in the collectibles, clothing, that kind of thing. I do every once in a while sell clothing, but not enough to really set up a Whatnot. Something that I will be looking forward to down the road if they sort of open up the type of items that they're allowing us to sell. Tommy says, I love reorganizing. I'm a bit obsessed with it. I'm always trying to find newer, better, more efficient ways. I think I lose more time obsessing though. Yeah, and I'm like the kind that I could do better. I certainly can. My shelves, I just will find a spot on my shelf and I'll put it in my SKU on my listing and I'll be just done with it. And sometimes my shelves can get rather messy. As you can see behind me, there's really no rhyme or reason. I tried to do like one shelf I'll reserve for like Legos and kits and things like that. But I don't get enough of those. So I have openings on my shelves. So I'm not even doing that right now. I'm just, if you keep it simple, for you sell shoes, you might have a similar system. If you watch Daily Refinement, they had the boxes set up for clothing. What works for you? Everyone's space situation is quite different. And, always look for ways to improve. And, I can only give you what works for me, and just keeping it simple works for me. I want to say thank you to Lee Hayes one. Always like the lives. Cheers. Thank you for the super chat. I certainly appreciate that. I certainly do. Thank you very much for that. Austin says, eBay bent me over the other day with 2 return items, $58 and $32. Originally shipped with UPS for half those costs. How to have this not happen again? Return with USPS and charge the above. Well, the way I do it is on those larger items, go onto Pirate Ship and go in, and you're going to have like 2 windows open or 2 tabs open, and go to your first item as if you're shipping the item all over again, and take the address information. And what you'll do is you're going to create a label where their address is the return label in Pirate Ship, and you're going to put your address as the 2. You're going to put all the information that you had for the package, the weight, the dimensions, in that Pirate Ship label. You're going to run it, and of course you're not going to print it out. You're going to do a PDF, save as PDF. And when that pops up, you're going to do a little screenshot. There's a program called, what do I use? It's called the snipping tool in Windows 10. And you just do a little outline of the label, save it as return label. And then in that return request, you're going to upload your own label with return label. Now, as complicated as that all sounds, a lot of times your buyer won't still be able to see the label you sent eBay for them to use. So you're going to have to send them a message. Here's the return label that I uploaded to eBay. In case you cannot see it, please use this return label. And that'll satisfy eBay's requirements. You'll save a lot of money on the cost of the label. It'll be a lot closer to the amount you paid for the label that was shipped out to the buyer. And you won't have to deal with, I think what happens is eBay automatically defaults to USPS on the return labels, and on larger packages, you really get hit. And someone has a sock in the dryer. It's not me. We don't have our dryer running right now. We have the air conditioner running, so you may have heard that. Tommy says it's generally no pays and returns. We forget to relist, change quantities. I batch photos and have just not listed stuff before, but put it away. Yeah, but the thing is, I'm out in the garage. So my format is I'll have an item and I'll list it, take all the photos, list it, and then I'll immediately put it away. And these shelves are what we're working on right now. There's no item that I would just put on the shelf without listing it. Also, anything that's a return or let's say a cancellation, unless eBay is not relisting when we say we click the box to relist this item, I just can't explain what's happening, at least in my case. Crystal says you should do what not to clearance out. I just don't know if they take half the items that I have. Once of course, I'd have to get approved. And of course, if someone's saying that they're me, it would be harder to get approved, I suppose. But once I'm on, then it's like I have electronics here, I have home goods there. And you guys know I pretty much sell anything that comes up in my the boxes that I get. Art says, did an inventory recently, lost most 30 items not listed that once were. And, it just maddening. Why does that have to happen? I'd like to see something from eBay. Maybe on the next seller check-in, I'll ask what that is. Now, do I expect to get an answer? Probably not. But at the same time, it's worth asking. Hopefully someone can shed some light. It can't just be cancellations and things like that that's happening. I'm sure that's some of it, but a lot of glitches on eBay, right? We're finding a lot of glitches. It's no surprise to me if there's that type of glitch going on where your items just disappear. Maybe they've been listed too long. Maybe it's intentional. eBay wants your items gone, and so they just don't relist or renew the good till canceled listing. Let's see. LSGS Rob's in the house. I just restructured my store, removed 1,000 old items, old listings that were horrible, and got rid of the garbage out that in the process of relisting it. So far, so good. You can go through your listings. As much as I talk about, having good titles, good photos, I go through my listings all the time and I find some stuff. It's like, why did I put that title? Or, I could have done better with this photo. Wow, the price is too high on this item. So there's a lot of things you can do. That's why it's good to stay on top of your store consistently. And the formula I like to use is right before that item's going to sort of recycle to a new good till canceled listing for another 30 days. All the items that are in red as far as the date is concerned or the time left, I'll go in there, try to do it on a daily basis and do that end item and sell similar, and go in if I need to take new photos, if I need to go in and revamp the title. Of course, I will not just relist it the way it is, because it's been sitting for a while. There's a reason for it. And so it's very, very good way to at least put up a fresh listing and maybe fix. A lot of times we go in there and we use a title that from a sell similar situation. A lot of times I'll be doing a lot of things, forget to really mess with the title, thinking that, well, it's already sold with this title, may sell again the way it is. So I don't get too into the title until it's time to do the end and sell similar myself. Crystal Antique says, Whatnot is diversified substantially. Keep an eye on that platform. I am, because it brings in a younger generation of buyers. I think eBay, of course, the older generation of buyers gravitate to eBay before they'll gravitate to a site or an app like Whatnot. And, if you're ignoring a certain age group of potential customers, then you're really leaving a lot out on the table as far as I'm concerned. I was just under the impression that, unless you're selling shoes, clothing, baseball cards, collectibles, vintage stuff, that it's really not really meant for your average everyday items, that type of thing. But I'll definitely keep an eye on it. The Outlaw Hustler, John, do you believe eBay is losing listings when months are longer than 30 days, or like February when the month is shorter? I don't know about that. Now, I do know that if you, for instance, list an item in February, they're only going to give you like 28 days, or, on a leap year, 29 days. Some months you list an item, it'll give you 31 days. There's really no rhyme or reason why they do it that way. I understand, how it works because you're listing it in a particular month, but really they should just give you 30 days, regardless of, when or how many days is in that particular month. Like, for instance, if I list an item in February, it won't pop up in my listings, my newly listings. It'll pop up somewhere like in the middle of the first page because I still have items that had longer durations, if that makes sense. I've never really understood that, but I don't think that's the cause of why we're losing listings. I think there's a glitch. We have a lot of glitches on eBay. This is a very old platform. I went to just go search for items, doing a search. It took literally like 30, 40 seconds for the entire screen to refresh for me to even do a search. And I have really fast internet here. It's definitely on eBay's side. I think there's a lot of old infrastructure going on there. And yeah, until that changes, there's going to be a lot of glitches, and these glitches are going to affect us. And we're just going to have to deal with it, I guess. Taking junk out helps, in my opinion. Let all that traffic flow to good stuff. And I think you're right there. Your sell-through rate, I think, does take a negative hit when you allow items that have no chance on selling. You might think that there's value. I think a lot of times we're guilty of thinking, yeah, I think I can sell this. It may not be for much. And that item just sits there. And we lower the price a little bit, and we, maybe tweak our policies to offer free shipping, free returns. Maybe that'll entice people to buy it. Maybe that'll allow the item to pop up higher in best match search, and it still sits. I had like some third party brand new inks, for like a Canon printer. And I thought, hey, I can maybe sell these for like $10 for a 2-pack. Didn't move. Lowered them down to like $7.99 and that's free shipping. At some point I just said, you know what, time to end the listing. I'm just going to throw this in the liquidation boxes that I do. And I think I'm going to be more focused on keeping higher end items, higher average sell price items in my store than the small stuff. And Jenna says, John is not organized and it drives me crazy. So hopefully with this inventory organizing, he'll keep it neat and tidy. Yeah, you really think that, don't you? I think after the first day or week, you'll see that it's tidy. And as I get in there, start pulling stuff and adding stuff to, the racks and that type of thing, then it's going to get all messy again. I'm sure of it. Someone came to my door. I'm not going to answer it unless Jenna wants to come down and get it. It's probably Amazon. So you know what? Or someone trying to sell me something. The other day, someone came to my door. They wanted to get elected, and they took like 30 minutes of my time. Sorry, it ain't happening today. Sorry, I can't even speak English today. LSGS Rob says, yep, I started selling clothing a little over a year ago, and I just got rid of all the garbage brands. And, there's nothing wrong with maybe the garbage brands. Maybe you can lot them out. Maybe you're selling singles. Maybe you can lot out one size of a particular item, maybe different brands, that type of thing. Someone will maybe scoop them up. It's better than just throwing them out, maybe throwing them in liquidation. If there's a way I can move the stuff that I have in those 20 liquidation boxes in my garage, through eBay, I would. I just don't see a way to do it. I just have randomness all over the place. Aunt White's in the house. Thank you for hanging out with us today. I appreciate that. Tommy says, Jenna, it's hard. Our minds are so focused on list. The rest gets the back seat. It's like set it and forget it. Now, this stuff behind me on this shoulder is stuff I have to take to UPS ground or the UPS store today. As soon as I'm done with this live stream, have a lot of larger items that sold over the weekend. Thankfully, I was back in time because this Power Tech thing here, this saw stand is pretty heavy, and it had a horrible box. So I had to kind of rebuild the box so that it will withstand shipping. So I don't think that's something Jenna wanted to have to handle. LSGS Rob says, sales slowed down for a minute, but made a difference. Otherwise, everything has got better. It seems that way. Last week about this time, I was getting really concerned. Sales were okay. I'm sure Jenna will take credit for that, but sales were okay while I was gone. Hopefully we can kind of continue that trend. I have a lot of stuff out in the garage that I need to get listed. We have maybe 5 huge tubs plus another, I'd say 30 boxes full of stuff that I know is going to sell. So we're going to have a lot of stuff to sell for a while, thankfully. Now, hopefully, the summer slowdown cooperates and sort of maybe delays itself and comes, or maybe I hope it doesn't come. But for some, I've had people say they've already seen the summer slowdown, and I think some channels have made videos about it. You know, I'm going to take the same strategy I used last year. If there is a slowdown, I'm going to continue to list, continue to build my store, because at some point it's going to pick back up again. And I want to have as many items in my store as I can to make as many sales as I can. Aunt White says, what's your opinion on the immediate payment required option? I use that for all my items. Yes. So you can set up your payment policies on eBay, and for the life of me, I don't know why, you have a box to check there. It should automatically default to immediate payment required. I don't know who would not want an immediate payment. Maybe, I think, like Don, the auction professor, would prefer not, because he has a lot of repeat business and a lot of people who buy multiples that may come up. And to force someone to buy that item right away when maybe they're trying to bundle a bunch of things together, it makes sense. But for the rest of us, that option just is something you should always make sure you have on. Get that immediate payment. And of course, immediate payment required only works for buy it now sales. Offers are not included yet. Hopefully that comes sooner than later. It's just never made sense to me how we would allow someone to have, a layaway program, get a better deal than the person that's willing to pay full price. And the person paying full price is paying right away. And that never made sense to me at all. Let's see. Always so much to do with reselling. There's, that's why it's flipping ain't easy. I mean, that's why, we made this channel. It isn't easy. If you think that you can list something, just snap a few photos, throw it up on eBay, and there's really no more to it than that, and then ship it out when it sells, then you're missing out on a lot. And you're not going to be as successful as other stores or other eBayers who really take the time to make sure that all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. So Jenna says, I found some things in John's listings that just made me shake my head. So I'd like to know what that is, so we can fix that. Jenna, it would help us who struggle with organization. And organization's a big thing. I think it starts off with what you do outside of eBay. That carries over into eBay. If you're not very organized outside of eBay, I kind of had to at my last job, but at home, I'm really not. I have a filing cabinet that has a lot of important documents, but if you ask me to find one like within a minute, I'd have to tell you I couldn't. I have to look through all the different folders. Just my lack of organization, if I'm being honest with you guys. Biscuit Butt, hey John, I just did an inventory on all 8 items I have, and they're still listed. Yeah, because that's because you're not listing, or that's because you're listing and things are selling very fast. I think that's the case for you. That's Archie. He bought a bunch of, I'll share his story with you. He called me all excited and said, hey, I bought a bunch of Zippo lighters from like the 90s, and I got a good price for them, like $10 a piece. And he's like selling them 50, 60 bucks. And as soon as he lists them, they're boom, flying off the shelf. So he doesn't have to worry about storing anything because those items are selling. And he's finding a lot of good stuff lately that he's able to get at a low cost and flip. So certainly I had a conversation with him before the live stream. Thankfully, he's going to maybe allow me to get in on some of these deals. So awesome. I bought an item off eBay the other day as well, and I noticed I can't leave a negative or neutral feedback for 2 weeks. Have you noticed this too? Well, that's interesting. I haven't bought anything recently off of eBay except for like maybe the eBay branded supplies, and they've never given me a reason to leave a neutral or negative. But that's actually a good thing if that's a change. Maybe someone can put a comment in the chat here or comment down below if you're watching this after the fact, and let us know if you've noticed that. One busy mama to you. Glitch today. Prompt to offer sale to interested buyer. I hit and brought up a blank box. Would not allow anything. I just now tried it and it worked. Here's another glitch. Have you guys noticed that maybe you click on your summary page and it says you have a pending offer on an item, and you click on it and there's nothing there? It's like you kind of get excited and there's nothing there. And then you refresh and it says you have a pending offer and there's nothing there. Happens to me all the time. And maybe it's just me, but it kind of drives me crazy. If there's an offer, it should be there. And if not, then you shouldn't say that there's an offer there waiting for me. One busy mama to you says, I'm following the end seller similar. Thanks for the tip. And what it does is it generally, instead of allowing it to just recycle, the idea is you're treating it as eBay's treating it as a new listing. So you're going to get that boost for it being a new listing versus relisting it where you don't get that same boost. And that's kind of the thought behind it. But you got to look at the listing because there's a reason. There has to be a reason why it hasn't sold. Is it a bad item? Is it maybe your photos look like you were running the 100-yard dash and took a few photos along the way? Maybe I think a lot of people need to do a better job in their photos, and maybe the amount of photos that they're including, maybe do some zooms. I think zooms, if you look at, your Best Buys, or maybe look at Walmart's, look at a major big box store, take a look at some of the items they have and how they do their photos. What you want to do is sort of emulate that. If, you can include some zooms on some key features of your item, I think that really looks good. It looks professional. So it may be something to do there. Maybe your price is too high. I think a lot of us want more for our item than it may be worth, and that's what's holding it back from being sold. I had a label purchase go through today for an item I shipped on the 2nd. Yeah, and that's what's happening with UPS Ground or FedEx. What's happening is they're billing eBay after it's been delivered, and then eBay, I guess for me, what they've done is I get like 6 or 7 labels, and boom, they hit my account, and it zaps my funds. I would rather them just take it, when the customer has sent me the money's there, just take it out of those funds, but that's not what they're doing. So yeah, it's kind of a bummer. You think you had a great day, and half of the money is going to pay for the labels that you sent out 2 weeks ago. Tommy says, it's a rabbit hole. I end relist items sending today, each day, and check for errors pricing. Sometimes it's borderline embarrassing. I make errors all the time. It's just stupid mistakes. And okay, here's one. Listed an item that I did in my garage. And I will sometimes use stock photos to supplement what I have to show the buyer what they're buying. For instance, if I have an item, let's say a tent or like a tarp or an overhang that you would put in your backyard. Well, I'm not going to put that up in mine and take photos of it. I have the box. Maybe I can open it up to show you what the color of the fabric is, but I have really no way to show a potential buyer what this thing's going to look like when it is put up in their backyard. And so what I did in this particular case is I did a screenshot on my phone of, say, the Amazon close-up of the stock photo, and I didn't trim it. So it showed the Amazon banner, it showed all kinds of stuff, it showed the URL, and that was in my listing. And it's like, how the heck? And it was in there for 30 days. So I generally won't use a stock photo to be my main photo, but I'll use it to supplement my other photos, if that makes sense. Now, you know what? We're all part of the Vero program. I'm sure I will get Veroed at some point if a brand has a problem with me doing that, and I'll just take my lumps. But for the most part, it hasn't been an issue. I make sales because I think my buyers know what they're getting. I do take, also take the time to put in my description, like the bullets for a particular item, because I don't get 1,000 questions. I used to get 1,000 questions on, hey, what's this for the item? Or, hey, what is this item meant for? Or it's all in the listing. So it curtails a lot of that. And, it's just the best way to, in my opinion, to do it. There's a lot of things in life that we do that is frowned upon. Am I going to walk down to the crosswalk, or am I going to jaywalk with no traffic? It's up to us on how we want to run our business. That's just, if I'm being honest with you, that's what I'm doing. And until eBay, slaps my hand or whatnot, we're going to continue doing it that way. I sell only photography items, as Lee Hayes 1 says. I sell only photography items. I have around 500 listings. I recently compared my store to other photog sellers with 2,000 listings, selling more per day than they are. Getting tips from YouTube always helps, and it does. I think there's a lot of information on a lot of these channels that you can glean from. And as I've spoken to you guys many times before, there's a lot of information you should shy away from as well. So when you're watching a channel, just kind of see if that actually would fit well in what you're doing. There's a lot of people who sell clothing. That's not always going to be the best formula if you're selling electronics or hard goods. There's a lot of stuff that it works for someone selling vintage items that really isn't going to translate over to maybe what you're selling. So, if you find that a little bit here and a little bit there works, then certainly integrate that into what you're doing. Aunt White says, I save all my receipts when I ship something. Can I use those when it's time to do taxes? Of course. Anything that, and I'm not a CPA, so, don't sue me if, you mess up on your taxes. But what I do is anything that I can relate to my business as an expense, you're allowed to write off. So the cost of your labels, the cost of your packaging, the cost of course, the cost of goods. Like for instance, if I need to fix an item, let's say I have an item that's missing a certain part, like I'll order that part and I'll, make the item whole per se. And that cost of that item goes right in my cost of goods. Really anything, your eBay fees. Now, like if you're in an office, like your home office, you have an area in your home where you just use for eBay. You can take the square footage, and there's a calculation that's used to determine what your deduction is. I just simply use like a TurboTax program. The hardest part for me doing taxes is getting the data together, getting all my expenses, getting that all. It's part of the organization. If it wasn't for GoDaddy bookkeeping, I probably would have just lost my mind by now. So it's $100 and something bucks well spent, as far as I'm concerned, that you can write off. That's an expense that's for your business. And just think of anything that's related to your business. Chances are you can write it off. So Tommy says, yes, there is a feedback cooldown for top rated sellers. So that's good to know. I've never known that. And that's just for top rated sellers. If you're above standard or below, you can get the hammer dropped on you right away. So that's very, very interesting. I have to look more into that, but if that's a thing, I think that I've always been top rated. So I've had people leave me feedback within a 2-week period, and I'm just wondering why that happened. Jenna says, let's be real, it'll be messy by tomorrow as far as my shelving back here. It probably will. We get a lot of activity on these shelves, and you know what? When I pull an item, even if I have to reach the back of the shelf, I'm not trying to reorganize it. I'm trying to get to the next item. I have a lot of times about 10 items a day to ship, and you guys know that shipping isn't my favorite thing. So I'm not trying to savor the moment. I'm just trying to get it done, and that leads to stuff going unorganized. So it is what it is. Austin says, you're telling me people hold spite for 2 weeks even after a refund and a return? Maybe they will, but I think by having that 2-week period, maybe they'll forget too. Maybe they're irritated. People have a lot of things going on in their lives, and the idea of them just holding a grudge against a random eBay seller, unless you really upset that person with what you told them or what you said, chances are they're probably not even going to think about it. Ha ha. I like Jenna. She's keeping it real. My wife loves to call me out. Yeah, Jenna keeps it real all the time. She keeps me in check. So it is what it is. John, have you seen a decrease in sales when eBay did last update that was supposed to remove the bot views? You know what? I haven't, because my sales went down up until like this time last week, and they went back up a little bit. I don't have my data in front of me, but I haven't really noticed that. You know, one thing that I like to do is go back and look, and everyone should look at their traffic. Go into the performance tab, look at the traffic, and just see how your impressions are doing, how your page views are doing. eBay told us that those numbers would be going down. I didn't see a decrease in my numbers, so I just don't know. Maybe certain categories have more bots or had more bots than others, but it's good to know that they're doing something about it. Jenna says, I don't normally like to call him out, but if we're all real here, and we wouldn't be normal if I didn't tell you all like it is. And you know what? This is an honest channel, so it isn't all rosiness. You know, if I could make maybe a sitcom out of what goes on here while we're working, I think it would be pretty interesting. That's for sure. Yes, one busy mama to you says, friendly reminder to all, please hit the like button. Good advice here. Thank you very much. Please, we have 55 watching us right now, so that's pretty good. Normally we have about 40 plus. So while 50 likes isn't hard, isn't much to ask. Please, if you enjoy the content, if it's kind of keeping you busy while you're working or whatnot, take a moment, hit that like button. I'd certainly appreciate that. Raymond Mervin, I think you need to buy a vowel. Chicago here. Thank you for hanging out with us. Much appreciated. Let's see. Tommy says, my glitch is all items in bulk shipping come up as media mail. And I don't really have a lot of bulk shipping going on, so I haven't really seen that. JRKR 1964, it takes energy and more time and effort to stay organized, not a strength of mine. And there's so many things. If someone's a reseller on eBay that says, you know what, I just am bored, there's not, aside from listing and shipping, there's really nothing to do. I have nothing to do. You're missing out. There's a lot of things you can do. Go in, and I'm willing to bet there's a lot of things wrong with your listings. Figure out, why did 10 of these items that I have listed here, the same item, it's sold 10 times since I've listed it. Well, why didn't mine sell? Try to figure that out. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that can be done as resellers. It's unfortunately not that easy where you can just set it and forget it. Let's see. Jason Byers official, the new view accounts on a listing are still not accurate. Recently, I've had listings with more watchers than the number of viewers, which isn't possible. Yeah, that wouldn't be possible. But it doesn't surprise me. Whenever eBay changes something, a lot of times they break something else. So, and that's normal. And I hate to say it's normal. Where I worked before, that's what happened a lot. They changed something and it broke something else, which is why they don't like making changes. It takes a lot of capital and investment in programmers and to go in and just make a small implementation, but to implement all these other things that they're saying that they're doing, like the instant payment for best offer and that type of thing. They have people behind the scenes that are making sure it doesn't break something else. Unfortunately, they're not catching all the glitches. So we're sort of operating with a beta program. Summer slowdown. It's been slow for 3 months. Well, that might be tied to a lot of other factors, but if it's slow now, it may be even slower come July, August. Let's hope that's not the case, but I have a feeling that the pattern's still going to stay the same. People are going to get out. They're not going to think about buying stuff. They're not locked in their house like they were 2 years ago. And I think that, unfortunately, there will be an even slower period come July and August. Hopefully I'm wrong, but it's just the pattern. It's the way things have been going. And don't despair. That's less time you have to ship, more time you have to list. Anytime I have something I can't send first class priority, I go pirate ship and have a label made and have them charge my card right away. Yes, that's correct. And they'll come back though if there's a problem with that package. They'll come back and hit your card for an additional amount. So be careful there. Happy and joyful. Love your videos. I just checked my feedback and all my positive feedback comments for the past month, except for just one that came in today. I realize older ones will drop off automatically. That is true. That does happen. And thank you for watching the videos. I appreciate that. No One Design 2. Hey, John, quick question. I keep hearing you should not end listing that has sales or watchers on them. How reliable is that? I've ended listings with sales and watchers when I get more of the same item. There's a thought out there. And of course, I haven't figured out the algorithm. I'd love to. I'd love to be the one that figures it out. I know I will never be that guy or gal. But it said that if you have previous sales, it shows the algorithm that it's positive activity, that buyers are interested in your item and to promote that item to other potential buyers. That's why people will have, let's say, 20 or 30 of an item and they'll list it for really cheap. You know, maybe it's a $30 item is what the market has it for. They'll list it for like 20, 25. And after they get a few sales, they'll start jacking up the prices up to what the market should be. And they'll keep that listing, you know, recycling, and they won't do an end item sell similar. They'll just allow that those viewers and the watchers to accumulate, and they do well with those listings. That's why I have a bunch of these, like right by my speaker here. I can't even point because everything's backwards. But right over here, I have a bunch of Koss headphones, and I have them priced cheaper than this other seller who sold, I think, 400 of them at 3 cents more, and I have free shipping, free returns on that. And I still have not sold one, but they're selling them like hotcakes. Why is that? Well, Best Match Search is showing their listings, that listing over mine, because of the previous sales and activity. It's just proof of that. There's no reason. I mean, I'm selling it for 3 cents more. They're brand new. Why haven't I sold one? And I guess I'm going to have to really drop my prices dramatically. But, you know, even if someone's doing a search by low price, they're going to see my item price maybe just above theirs at 3 cents cheaper, but say, wait, this says it sold already 400 of them. And maybe that's going to get them to gravitate to that listing and spend the extra 3 cents, because maybe that person has had 400 successful transactions with that item, but yet I haven't had any. I think that red writing that pops up in the search, you know, like to left, or, you know, number sold, that type of thing, it really does catch a buyer's eye. And so on those multiple quantity listings, you want to keep relisting and allowing eBay just to recycle that listing every month. Let's see. Hit the like button, please. I'd certainly appreciate that. Wanda Greer says, I heard that once upon a time eBay offered insurance for top-rated sellers. Is this still true? Well, none that I know of. I know that, you know, like Square Trade and things like that are options that a buyer has to insure the listing, or insure the item from like a extended warranty on the item. I know that when you buy labels on eBay for priority mail, UPS ground and FedEx ground, I believe, FedEx 2-day as well, I believe, your label is insured for up to $100, that type of thing. But as far as any other kind of insurance, I'm not aware of it. But someone might put the comment down below, answer Wanda's question if you can. I would certainly appreciate that. Biscuit Butt says, Jenna is the Shohei Ohtani of that team. I would definitely agree. She makes she makes it go properly. I mean, she does help me a lot. But if it wasn't for her putting up with my nonsense half the time, it would probably be crazy. And you know that's the truth. So good on you, Jenna. Thank you for everything you do. Darren Adams says, it's cool now that you could see your views for 7 days and 30 days. It was just started working today. I have to look into that. Of course, getting back in from this vacation, I haven't really dove into my stats and all that stuff, but I plan on doing that once I get this whole reorganization thing going or finished. Ant White says, I think eBay changed it, promoted listing fees from pay the fee if and when it sells from a promoted ad to pay the fee up front, regardless of how it sells. Someone might need to answer that. I haven't noticed that. It's been one of those things where if they've determined that a buyer has clicked on your item within a 30-day period, so you can basically turn off promoted listings, but if eBay is determined they've clicked on that item, they're still going to hit you with the promoted listing fee immediately once the item sells. So that's been my impression. No One Design, this is from Crystal Antiques. No One Design, I never end and sell similar. I will tweak my listing with different titles, descriptions, or photos. And that may be because you have a lot of viewers or watchers. You don't want to lose that activity. But I did a video about a week and a half ago, maybe it wasn't even that long ago, where it was reported that if you did the relist, you're losing those watchers and those viewers. So I don't know if they fixed that. I don't know if you guys still see that or not, but it definitely happened to me. I did one just for the heck of it to see what would happen on a listing that had a lot of views and watchers, and those watchers and views went away. Lee Hayes one says, summer slowdown source, summer type items. Most people are doing stuff outdoors, hiking, camping, vacationing, going to weddings. You know, it's funny. These boxes that I've been opening, I have like 80 boxes. These must have been like returns from late December or early January, because I'm getting a lot of winter stuff, a lot of Christmas stuff, and we're hanging on to those. We're going to list those at the end of summer, that kind of thing. Very few. I think I got a backpack and maybe a sleeping bag in there, which is going to be going up here. But just weird. It's just getting a lot of stuff that I would do well with in the fall, but I have to sit on it before I'm going to get a lot of sales or activity on. Let's see. What do we have here? I've heard that this is Marilyn Egley. I've heard that some people make more off of their YouTube channel than they do off of their store. Is that true? Well, Marilyn, it's not true in my case. I make maybe a few $100 a month from AdSense revenue, and that's fine. Sometimes I'll reinvest. Someone had suggested I buy new lighting because they didn't like the lighting that's in my eyes on these videos, which is something I'm looking into. It allows me to, get a little bit of compensation for my time. I can tell you the larger channels, I think Harry Tornado came out and said, I'm a full-time YouTuber and part-time eBayer, and I buy eBay and sell on eBay for content. The guy has like 250,000 subscribers. And if you're at that level, you're making thousands of dollars a month in ad revenue. And I guess you can do it. I don't ever envision this channel being that big. And certainly I've already decided that eBay is my number one. I don't know how I can have an eBay channel without being a seller currently in the moment. Like Daily Refinement, he's doing eBay content, but he's currently not selling on eBay. But at some point, there's going to be so many changes on eBay that if you're not in the trenches per se, dealing with the policies, dealing with the broken glitches, and dealing with all the stuff that us sellers have to deal with, you're going to be out of touch at some point. That's why I think that eBay, they really need to have sellers in the decision room, in those boardrooms, in those board meetings, make them at least list a dozen items a week so that they know what us sellers are dealing with. And I guarantee you none of those people have. It's very important that us YouTubers stay in the trenches and know exactly what we're talking about, rather than just bringing what worked a year ago when we had our store. And so for me, I'll always be selling on eBay. I enjoy it. It's what I do. Let's see. Maryland, 100%. There's a lot of YouTubers that have huge channels and not the slightest idea how eBay works. and they have an idea, right? But they're not really up to speed as us everyday sellers might be. And that's not to say I have all the answers. I don't. That's selfishly, I have this channel because I like interacting with you guys, and I know that there's many of you out there that have the answers that I don't. And these sort of live streams, like finding out about the whole 2 week grace period where a buyer can maybe they have to wait 2 weeks to leave that negative feedback. I didn't know that. But because of you guys, I get to find that information out. No One Design 2 says, the reason why I ask is because I have about 2,000 listings. It's out of stock. My store is almost 8,000 item store. I think I might have to upgrade my premium store to an anchor, which I don't want to do. I've been actually looking at making a video on when to, or what store size is the right size, because I'm in that mode right now. I have 700 items. Now, on the store that I have, eBay gives me 1,000 listings a month. But I know that if I'm selling 200 items a month, let's just say, and I have 700 in my store, well, I'm getting very close to, that's 900 some odd items, that I'm getting very close to having to pay insertion fees. And at some point, as my store grows, I'm going to have to bump up that number. So I think a lot of it is also based on how many items you're selling a month in that equation. And you just got to look at it and look at your invoices. See what eBay's charging you. What have they charged you? See what that difference is in just insertion fees. And it may be time to upgrade to the next level store. One Busy Mama says, I have had several watchers on an item and offer great sales, but no bites. Why are they watching if they really don't want the item? Could be that they're selling the same kind of item. They want to see what you're doing. There's a lot of sellers out there who will watch an item. I believe if you click on an item enough times, eBay will automatically assign that particular potential buyer as a watcher. I might be wrong on that, but I've heard that. Various reasons, though. A lot of times research, we get a lot of impressions. We get a lot of page views from just sellers looking for ideas on what to price their item as, that type of thing, that I almost wish that there was a way to take that traffic out and just show us potential buyers and the page views and the impressions that they leave. Oh, okay. So she's talking about health insurance and life insurance. So she said that she heard that eBay used to give health insurance and life insurance to their top rated sellers. I've never received that. Maybe it could be one of those things where it's a supplemented thing, like my credit union. They send me a thing saying, hey, sign this paperwork. We'll give you $1,000 life insurance kind of thing just for being a member. Maybe something like that, but I've never received anything like that. Elio Mora says, I vote for no more eBay updates. Horrible every time. Yeah, again, they update something and it breaks something else, but we get to be their free beta testers for whatever they decide to do. Okay, so Tommy says, not true. If you only pay if it sells on promoted click, unless you use pay per click when it's garbage for people without replenishable items. So yes, I don't use the promoted listing advanced. I think I've used it twice on higher end items because someone said, hey, you should try it. And I suppose it worked. These were large, more expensive juicers. They sold for about $300 a piece. And I did it for those two items. What I probably should have done on that is maybe had one listed with the promoted listings advanced and the other one with just promoted listing standard, and see if there's a duration of time between sales on those items, even though it's a small sample size. But I don't really get involved in the promotional clicks too much because I just don't use it. Tommy says also that you are wasting. Whoops, I just had it in front of me. Sorry about that. I am flying all over the place, so I apologize for that. Let's see if I can get back to it. You're wasting traffic if you leave out of stock items listed. So definitely, I don't use the out of stock option I don't get a lot of the same items in stock. Usually once I sell it, I'll never see it again. So I don't use that option. But I suppose there is a good reason to use it when you have that situation. I just don't use it for that reason. Um, with gas prices, I don't see people traveling as much, but they're getting out. They don't have with gas prices, they don't have the kind of extra money to buy your items either. And I think that with the economy, with the gas prices, with the 25-30% or whatever that number is, inflation on just groceries, you can go to the grocery store and see the things you're buying for $1 is now like $1.50, and that's hurting people that would normally say, hey, I can buy this item. um, they won't buy your item. I mean, I've had a few people already say, hey, you've sent me this offer, I'm not getting paid until Tuesday. I won't know how much I'm getting on my check. And it's sad. It's killing our sales. But all we can do is keep listing the things that are within our control. We can't control the economy. We can't control the summer slowdown. But what we can do is continue to list, continue to improve our listings. And if you have, used to be 10 potential buyers for your item and it's now 5, you have that much more that you have to compete for. That's why promoted listings are important. I use promoted listing standard, but there's times I'll jack up my rates from 1% just to try to be more competitive. Good photos, good titles, those are all important things. And it's going to be even more important when we have fewer customers to compete for. Let's see. Tommy says I use out of stock as well, and then I'm every week let the traffic flow the rest of the store, then sell similar if ended items if less than 90 days. Okay, good advice. LSGS Rob says, why would you never envision your channel being that big, or your store for that matter? With time that should happen. Do you not want that to happen? It can be both. It's not that I don't want it to happen. It's the mindset of I'm happy with the channel that I have. I'm not one of those who are going to come out and beg for subs. I'll ask you to subscribe, but for me, it's not just nothing I aspire to be. I don't really need to be. I don't want to be famous. I mean, I've had people recognize me out in public, and it's okay. It's not anything it's not the reason why I do this channel. It's because I want to help people. And if the word gets out that this is hopefully an honest channel, you guys feel like we're honest about the information we're giving out. We're not trying to get you to click on our video just to watch it. If that's the case, I think I would have another 20 videos that I would have launched that I've scrapped before I've launched them, because I'm like, you know what, this is not anything I'd want to watch. So therefore it doesn't get posted. It's really just, yeah, is it another income stream for me? Sure. But I spend a lot of time on these things. Right now I could be organizing my stuff back here, but I want to be consistent. Uh-oh, we got a sale. That's good to hear. I want to be consistent. And I think that in, making myself accountable to you guys to get this information out helps me do better at eBay. So if I ever encounter a situation where I don't need eBay anymore, it's going to lose a lot of my motivation to make good content. I guess that makes sense. So I'm going to continue doing both if I can, and hopefully you guys hang in there with me. Marilyn says, what can your subscribers do to help you make more money on YouTube? You help lots of people and you should be compensated for your time. Really, just maybe sharing the videos, help to grow the channel. What Jenna's working on, she's working on merch. And it's funny, we were having a conversation and I said, what is that surf company from the 80s that used to have the patch, the logo on the arm, the t-shirt, right? I know a lot of you guys know the name, but I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, it's something and Sons. I don't know the name. And we pulled it up. It's Maui and Sons. And they did a lot of cool t-shirts that I remember back in school when I was, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th grade, that I like those t-shirts, those old Maui and Sons t-shirts. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to do like t-shirts and hoodies and things like that, with the little Flippin' Ain't Easy logo, saying Flippin' Ain't Easy on it, and maybe something on the arm like that. I thought that was kind of cool. You don't see a lot of t-shirts like that. And, something we're working on. We're going to have out as soon as we can. We have 11 and a half, almost 12,000 subscribers. So even if a handful of you guys are interested in having a Flippin' Ain't Easy shirt or hoodie or whatever it is, or maybe a coffee mug, that certainly, it does help the channel. And I got to tell you, I was making a lot of money on eBay, even like what, 2 years, 3 years ago, before the pandemic hit. Because you guys know my struggles with sourcing, and it's not the same as it used to, and it's not as pretty as it used to. I'm sort of in the same boat as a lot of you guys when it comes to slower sales and stuff. So it does help. It does help make it possible for me to take the time to make these videos. It's just not a money grab. It's for me, it's not about a money grab. There's a lot of channels out there, and I won't throw them under the bus. There's a lot of channels out there who you can tell that they're just putting content out because they want the views. The number of views they get is what you get paid for on YouTube. And the more views, the more you get paid. To me, it's not about that. It's, do I have good content to give you guys? Is it not repetitive? Have I covered it already on a previous video? Is it going to help people? And if I make some money along the way, then certainly. But if you want to help me, look out for those t-shirts. I will announce that when it happens, and be sure to pick one up. Jay Guerrero says, don't go to Anchor, call eBay. Sometimes they give you more free if you call them. Just ask them to increase your listing. So something to consider. Good advice there. Now, what will happen, though, is they'll increase the number of listings that they allow you to list. So when you start listing on eBay for the first time, they give you like 100, 200 listings, whatever it may be. I can't ask for any more listings like that. I've reached the max. I don't think anyone's seen the number of listings at my store. I'm approved for 2 billion, 2B, not million, but 2B billion listings, which I will never in my life get close to that. Let's see. This is a great platform for insights. Appreciate you. Thank you for hanging out with me. If it wasn't for your guys' questions, I would have been done 45 minutes ago. I didn't have a whole lot to say today other than what I have going on. And I realize that might not be interesting to a lot of you guys, but it's more interesting for me when you guys bring your questions, and guys like Tommy can hang out with us and provide their expertise, because again, I'll give you the best answer I have, but it's not always the best one or the right one. And I don't mind being corrected if it gives you guys the right information. The Quicker Flipper Picker Upper 2019, isn't that bounty? But nonetheless, I promote my shirts at 15%, lots of results. So definitely something I plan on getting out here very, very soon. Why Worka? Anecdotal, but it seems like when I update my recommended item specifics, I sell more items, not necessarily the updated items, but the algorithm might recognize this activity. And I'm a firm believer, whatever task that eBay asks you to do, when you click on your seller hub and then you go to summary, and I'm guilty, I have like 30 something that needs updated in the item specifics. But when you go and do whatever eBay is recommending that you do, they sometimes reward you. And so maybe that's something you should look into. If you have a lot of tasks that eBay wants you to do, sending offers, of course, never let things like return requests, refunds that you have to process. You've received the item, but you're just kind of sitting on it. Get on those right away. Customer questions. A customer has a question about your item and you wait to get back to them. They probably bought it from someone else. So get in there and make sure that you're checking that summary throughout the day and you're on top of it. If Jenna ever gets silenced, we will start to question. No, she will never get silenced. Trust me on that one. And cha-ching. Yeah, that cha-ching is always a nice thing to hear. As soon as I start listing, sometimes within minutes, I'll get that cha-ching, and it just keeps me going. LSGS Rob, you have an honest channel and do amazingly. Honesty, I think, is what will get you to that point, and it'll continue to follow regardless. Cheers, man. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate you doing that. You're always consistent. You're always, Tommy, you, No One Designed To. There's probably Semperfi. There's a handful of you guys, dozens of you guys that show up. Archie will hang out. Biscuit Butt will hang out once in a while when he's not too busy for the channel. But you guys are consistent, and I thank you guys. If it wasn't for you guys, I mean, I've set different times. I've set morning live streams. I've set afternoon live streams. I'm willing to bet if I set a 2 a.m. live stream, I'll get at least one of you guys there. So thank you for being a part of this channel. It certainly is awesome. It's something that I never thought. If we never get a single subscriber over what we have right now, it's more than I thought I'd do with this channel, to be honest with you. If I go back 2 years ago today, it's like I was thinking it's only my friends and family that are just subscribing just to kind of help me out. But it's much more than that now, and it's awesome. It just, words can't convey how much I appreciate you guys. Hey John, if you get any t-shirts or caps, I'll be up for buying some. Awesome. Definitely put something out for you. They're making Maui and Sons again. Ross and Marshalls are loaded with them. I need to check that out because to me that's nostalgic. I used to wear those shirts all the time. Of course, I'm sure it was more stylish for me as a kid than it is for me now, but I certainly wouldn't mind checking those out. Chai Charan, hopefully I got that right. You figure in the pain when dealing with larger items like the Black & Decker behind you. Just sold a 30-pound air fryer, and I don't think I'll ever do that again. It's a pain. Yeah, I have a trolling motor. It's in the box. I even bought the missing part for it, the missing components for it, and I haven't listed it yet. It's still out there because it's just a pain. And yeah, that's how our death piles get started, I guess. And then I buy more stuff on top of it. So I'd rather list the smaller items. So that one sits, even though I know I'm going to get about $80-$90 for it plus shipping. It just sits out there. So bad on me. I need to just make it so that, look, I think I have about 3 or 4 large items that I'm sitting on out there. I just need to say, look, list one of these a day. In addition to all the other stuff you're listing, it'll be gone, and just don't buy it again. I think sometimes we have to buy it, like we run out of merchandise to sell, and I find that I'm buying stuff I really don't want to sell, but I need to keep that train going, and that's why I had it in the first place. I just was in a lull, and I didn't have the merchandise to sell. Yes. My granddaughter is our biggest fan. Shout out to Aubrey. If you watch the video that I put out, say, a week or so ago, I showed you the little subscribe, like, share, subscribe that she actually took the time to make for me. And that's up on my wall right now. So guys, I just want to thank you for taking the time to hang out with me today. I really do. We're an hour and 12 minutes in. And, like No One Design says, let's get John to 100K so we can set up and host an eBay meetup. We can all fly out to, and that's one thing I was thinking about too. There's some channels out there that are maybe 12, 13, 14,000, and they're doing meetups. And it's like one channel was offering or asking their subs to pay $100 for, I guess, a meal and all that. That just doesn't seem right to me. But no, it's not anything I'm really considering on that end. But if we get large enough and you guys want to do something of that nature and come and hang out and just maybe do a Vegas thing or maybe do something more centralized in the United States, that's something I'm definitely interested in. That would sound like a fun time. Maybe go thrifting or whatever together, checking stuff out, maybe. Or just maybe have a little workshop where we just kind of brainstorm and pick each other's brains, that type of thing. Down the road, of course, it's not anything I'm considering right now. We're trying to get past the merch part of it. But certainly I am excited to know that at least a few of you guys would be interested in the whole Flippin' Ain't Easy merchandise. So we're going to get on that right away. So guys, thank you again. And go Raiders. I agree with that. Go Raiders. Thank you for being a part of this program. Each and every one of you, even if you maybe too shy or just didn't want to talk with us today, put comments down below. Comment if you have a question. I'll try to get to you. I know I haven't been very good about it this last week because I've been gone, but I try to get to your questions, but others will as well. And that's kind of what this community is about. Hopefully, in my eyes, helping each other. And it's just another example of how flipping ain't easy. And I want you guys to have a great start to your week. Hopefully this somehow motivates you for Motivational Monday. And count on seeing a video from me here very soon. Have a great week, guys.